Become what we want to be by consistently being what we want to become each day. Fin fans up north, fin fans in the south, to the east, and to the west. What's better than this? Mo others. Let's talk about it. We jump into everything here. I just want to ask before we jump into anything here, I just want to let y'all know that you guys' likes and subscriptions and you guys hitting the bell really helps out a lot. And I'm a big Miami Dolphins fan, and I believe in in the spirit of the Miami Dolphins. It lives on, and I think we're gonna do some good things this upcoming football season. So if you would just go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell, and help us out. Without further ado, let's get it to it. Without further ado, let's get to it. I asked myself when this went down, why didn't we pick up punt god Matt Azaria out of San Diego State? And why did we get rid of Pilardi, when we really had no answer for that right away? But then it so happened that we picked up the punter from the New Orleans Saints, Thomas Morstead. And by all means, Pilardi wasn't the greatest, and picking up Matt Azaria in the draft, there were some things about him, I know one thing for sure they were saying about him is that he overkicks his coverage, and there are people that were afraid of that. I really didn't know how much that would play a factor into getting him and being able to fix that. I know that if you kick over your coverage, there is a chance for some good chunk return yards, right? So I contemplating what we were going to do, how we were going to do it, and we picked up Thomas Morstead from the Saints. Now, the Saints fans say that he's the man, he's the myth, and they nicknamed him the leg, and I guess the leg is part of the word legend, and he's given that for a reason. Thomas Morstead has been the Saints punter, holder, and sometimes kickoff specialist for 12 years, I think. And he was the only player on the team other than Drew Brees, to play continuously for the Saints, since their 2009 Super Bowl win there. There are a lot of good things that players have said about the leg, the legend, Thomas Morstead. Brees, had said once it was nice to see, a booming punt from Thomas Morstead go inside the 10, and then when the defense would come out and push the other team back, it would give the Saints good field position, or there'd be some type of turnover and the Saints can capitalize off that. Bill Belichick said of Thomas Morstead, he said that when the Saints played the Patriots, I don't know if it was 2017, what have you, but he said that the kicking game has the best punter in the league, and that had ever been seen. And he was most definitely accurate. That's what Bill Belichick said. I left the link in the description with the timestamp on it where you can see that. But I delved to dig in further with, Thomas Morstead to see what what he's really about, and, why him over, Matt Azaria or just any other punter that was seemingly out there on the draft pool in the draft, or just a couple of free agents. And it's like Morstead is once again worth repeating. As a rookie, he was called out in the locker room at halftime of that 2009 Super Bowl, and they tasked him with one of the boldest plays in NFL history. He had to start the second half with an onside kick. And it wasn't just any onside kick. It was one that really turned the tides of the game and the momentum of the game, and the Saints, wound up winning. And Morstead, went on to be one of the NFL's greatest onside kickers to this day. He's like one of the most prolific punters in team history. And if I'm thinking correctly, from some of the information I've seen, is that he never had a punt blocked, never once muffed a hold for a place kicker during a field goal or an extra point. So I look at that and I say to myself, yeah, I think we have our kicking game down to a T. We have a proven veteran, a first ballot Hall of Famer for sure, and he was a good reason why the Saints were involved in the games that they were involved in through the years he was in, with Breeze, of course. I mean, not to take anything from Breeze and Micah Thomas and what they've had going on out there in New Orleans, but I will say that Thomas Morstead was a good part of that. I noticed that his punts are extremely high. So by the time the returner gets the ball, the coverage for the punt are already around the returner. So the returns aren't significant yards by any means whatsoever. And I think he had an average of 50 yards, for 16 games. I mean, it was just he was just a punt sensation. And he had been a how could I say, he's not, but he's not a had been. He is and will be a Hall of Famer. And he is a how could I say, a decorated punter, and in the league, actually, and in the history of the league for punters. I mean, his direction is immaculate. His consistency is clutch, and he places the balls on the sideline like two dropping dimes right in the basket there. Coaches from high school and colleges look to him because of his consistency and because he's concise. He gets the ball placed on the first step, and then he just lets it rip. No long strides. It's just short, concise, controlled movements in his kicking game. And that in itself says a lot, to where any kicker that we pick up, after the season is going to have someone there to look up to. And not only is his power and his conciseness and consistency on point, Morstead is, he had been a team captain since 2013, and he's definitely a team player through and through with a vast amount of leadership skills. His off-field accomplishments, though, are bigger than anything that he's done, like, on the field. He has, like, he's been, like, a relentless civic and a community leader. He helped raise money, gave his time, and recruited others to help do the same. And he just establishes himself and immerses himself in to becoming a great citizen and a great neighbor and a great friend and a great teammate. So, this man is on his way for sure, going into the Hall of Fame. And there's 4 kickers in the Hall of Fame right now. However, 2 of those guys played other positions, and I think Blanda, and there was another one. But Morten Andersen and Jan Stenrud. Okay, those guys were like just officially kickers. They were pure kickers, and they are in the Hall of Fame. Morten Andersen, the Great Dane they called him back in the day. He holds the Saints record to this day for field goals and the points scored. And the Saints let him go, and he joined the Falcons, and he became like the only player like in NFL history to hit 3 field goals from like 50 yards in a single game. And he was with the Saints, and the Saints let him go. Just like what Thomas Morstead said, a Hall of Fame kicker is with the Saints. Saints let him go, and I guess what it sounded like is maybe we might get a game where he hits 4 or 5 50-yard field goals in a single game against Buffalo, in Buffalo. Sweet, and we win, right? But look, all right, so that's my thoughts on Thomas Morstead. I think we got us a fantastic punter with him, and with that, we have a solid run at the Super Bowl in our special teams game, because we definitely need that punter. We need a consistency there, and now I don't feel so bad, or unsure, I should say, that our punting game might be off, and I got to learn a little bit more about who Thomas Morstead is as a person and as a player, and I think we got ourselves a good steal. I think we got ourselves one all the way through and through. So if you guys have any comments, questions, please leave them below. If you can, like, subscribe, hit the bell, because it helps us out. We're trying to, I guess for our metrics, it looks like we're going to need, 500 or 1,000 subs to even get like a poll. I'm not for sure how it all works. I'm still trying to figure this out. I know, when YouTube came on, back in the day, the requirements and the metrics were lower, but now, here we are in 2022, and now everything's, just higher. So if you can, just like, subscribe, hit the bell, subscribe. It helps us out, and we have some good things coming for you guys this football season here, with some specials that we'll be having on Thursdays and Fridays for sure. And we just look forward to hanging out with you guys more and more, and your subscriptions and your likes and everything helps us be able to do that. So with that, I'd like to say thank you for watching, and I love y'all. Deuces. Fin fans up north, fin fans in the south, to the east, and to the west. What's better than this? Mo others. Let's talk about it.